The other side is technology. And what we're looking at here is some software called Revit, and it's got a model loaded in it. And this model came from Adam Garton Architects. Now, Revit is something that's been around for some time, but it's really starting to get high levels of usage now. And using this software properly comes from using people that know how to use it. So you want to work with people that have been using it for some time and they're using it because it's good for their business, not because it's good for you. It's very hard to pick up on a particular job. There's a large learning curve. Our company's been working with it for around about best part of a decade. So what we're looking at here is a 3D dimensional presentation of a townhouse project. And it has information with it. When we import it into our software that we use as Costex, we start to get areas and quantities for different components that are within that model. And this works structurally as well as architecturally and mechanically and electrically. So we start to build up quantities without having done any work. What it allows us to do is concentrate on the pricing of it. And we build a link. So we build a link between the quantity and the model itself. Then we link between that quantity and our estimate. What it means is every time the model changes, we can re-import the information and calculate it again. We still need to make sure all the connections are right, but the thing is it's almost turbo boosting what we could do. In the past, if there was a change in design, you'd just narrow them down. What we can do today is just do design change after design change, continue to rework things, to fine-tune them, to sharpen them, and get them better and better from a cost point of view. So that's what I see as the benefit of this, is the reliability, but also that ability to sharpen the costs. So they're the two things that we need to know. Now looking at Adam's model, this sort of process works around collaborative design. So it's Adam and I working together with a project. So we're working with a site plan in the first instance. That's the first cut, if you like. We start to look at, with a townhouse project, what do you do with the cars? And that's probably the biggest key issue. So how do you circulate around the site, and do you put them in a garage or do you put them in a carport? If you want things that are cheap, they have to be in a carport. So we start looking at how do we change that design so that we're accommodating those things. And the information is flowing backwards and forwards between Adam and ourselves. So this is a view of what that building looks like. And this is where we started, and this is where we started to come to. So we're just making it more efficient. Use the site in the way we can. Pretty basic stuff. There's nothing new here. It's just being able to do it and enforce it. The real sort of power comes when we start looking at the detailed design. So we're looking here at a scenario, a simple change of an internal space becomes an external space. And an interesting thing in that bathroom turns around the other way. Now what happens is, a decade ago, if I was doing that estimate and Adam came along to me with a plan and he said, I've turned the bathroom around, I'd go, righto. He'd want to know a saving and I'd say, oh, I think it's about the same. But with the technology, we can now run it out and we can calculate that that difference is actually $1,526. And multiplied by 42 apartments, it starts to get power. So the devil is in the detail. That ability to sharpen is about working through different designs, making it more efficient, and then running the numbers on it. It's turbo boosting what we can do. So we started with a model that looked like that. We changed it to look like this. It doesn't look that greatly different. There's a number of things internally that have changed, and they all just sort of filter through. Upstairs, we did a similar sort of thing. Adam has reworked the staircase, he's reworked the bathroom, and we knocked off a balcony. That's the other thing that we can work with, is whether that balcony is adding value or not. So we knocked off a balcony at the back, we kept our big balcony. The other thing to look at in townhouses is trying to sharpen that structure. So if you can cantilever a balcony by bringing it into an economical length rather than having a structure and an extra external wall line. So they're the types of things that we work with. Now in this scenario, when we reran that model, we came up with $1,255 a square metre. not as keen as I would have thought we could get to in terms of 1,200. We can still work those things through. And only a small gain. So we were at 1,309 and now we're at 1,255. What that means to our return is we're now up to 19.4%. So the thing is when we're making little small changes and we're starting to multiply it by large numbers, it has an effect in the multiplication of it. Now, just before we finish up, just looking at the cost environment, I suppose, and looking at what things are going to challenge us and what things are going to work with us, and the things that I see in the future. But just as a cost perspective, just from a cost perspective, I'm not looking at what our development industry might be more interested in. In terms of a strength, the thing at the moment is competitive tendering. If you have a look at the tender papers in the Courier Mail, it won't be long and they'll be bigger than the sale pages. There are builders in there that I've never seen before. So the ads in the tender pages are getting smaller, but there's many more advertisements in their own right. The level of activity is huge. In a recent project we tendered, we were expecting prices, the budget, as compared to what we estimated, but the budget was expected to be around about 9 million. It came in at 8.1, so significantly under. But the range in the prices was from 8 to 13. We had a range of $5 million in terms of the prices, all to do with who was picked. And this is going to be a key thing in running a tender, is picking the builders that are suitable for that project, getting the right ones. So that's a strength. So if we're in a position where we can start to sharpen our designs and get them efficient, not worry so much about what the cost is, but make sure they're efficient and then hand it to the market, you're going to get a good result. You can use the building industry to be your estimating department as well. So it's just whether they've got the abilities to be able to do what you need to do. The weakness is the dispute area. So in taking that low bid, you can get what's a bargain, but you need to allow contingencies. You need to be expecting that things might go wrong. You don't want to get caught out. There's some changes, well, they're changes that occurred back in 2004, but they're ramping up now and they're to do with payment claims. The level of activity in this area is double what it was last year, and it's double the year before, and it's double the year before that. It's up to about 900 claims in this last calendar year. A threat, and this is one that's a bit further out, is this cycle in construction costs. Demand will lift. Construction costs do always go up. It's only when the economy's not performing that they come down. So what we need to be aware of is how do we deal with rising costs when they come back. We don't want to be caught like we were in 2003. So awareness here is key. The opportunity is this notion of collaborative design, being able to use technology, be able to bring the different advocates together, the people that know how to build, get them practicing building the project before they hit site. Doesn't matter whether it's a civil project or a building project, the same can happen. You got your cost guy being really interested in why that bathroom's been turned around and trying to work out exactly what the cost is rather than just, meh, I haven't got time to look at that. The designer is trying to sharpen the design and make it work. If you get these things working collaboratively together, you'll start to deal with this rising cost scenario down the track. So they're the things that I see. My final words, precision is everything, and the key to precision is having real project costs and being able to use them. It's about driving the efficiency and then allowing the market to do the rest, because it will at the moment, it will work for you. And in terms of the outlook, this next 12 months, I think costs are going to be pretty stable. So thank you very much for your time. I hope that was informative, and if you want to access any of this information, it'll be available from our website. Similarly, if you want spreadsheets of any of that data, just give us a hoy, and we'll be able to organise it for you if it's not clearly readable. Thank you very much.